hopefully the ladies have enough time here to feel comfortable, because this is run a little differently than some of our other organizations, some of our other shoot-offs. This is pretty much get on the stake, minute to judge and shoot. And, when we're out there on the range, we have a full 2 minutes. You're allowed to take your full 2 minutes to study and shoot and get after it. So they're moving right along. They're getting after it. So we'll see what we got going on.
Kaylee looks like she's first to draw. She's on the gator.
Again, we have no idea how far these targets are. Just naked eye, the gator would appear to be our closest target.
She's probably a 10, tall 10.
Yeah, Kaylee has secured a 10, it would appear, on that first target.
I think we have an 11 on the standing bear.
Sharon just shot an inside out 12 on that big 10. That was a good shot. Had a Sharon.
Your wife's had a lot of success shooting some indoors as well. So, when people want to talk about, well, they're just good yardage judges, you don't win that paper game inside.
No.
Just because you're a good yardage judger.
No, she told me she wanted to get a little more after the indoor game. She thought she could compete there, and she thought it would be fun. And obviously I support her in that. Me, I shoot the indoors a lot in the off season just to train, just to practice, and see if my equipment will do it. I don't shoot all the indoor stuff. Never had a lot of success there, but I like to be able to prove to myself that my bows will do it. That makes me feel good going into 3D. Emily McCarthy.
Nice.
Inside out on a standing grizzly.
I told you it was going to be a
this is
change-up, mix-up battle here.
They're looking hard at Cara Kelly's on the standing doll. From here, we can't tell if they're trying to call 11 line or 10 line. They're trying to call 10 line. It looks good from here.
10.
It is a 10.
Most of these targets have a really crisp edge on where the line is, but occasionally in the mold process, Reinhardt does such a good job making these targets look realistic. They have hairlines.
Yeah.
And sometimes those hairlines can even appear as a molded line, like a scoring line. So your scorers have to, pay attention, get down there close, and make sure they're seeing exactly what they think is the line, and just secure that.
And there's different rules everywhere we go play. You know this. At this particular organization, we try our best to always have 4 shooters per group, and in that group, everyone has a call on the arrow. So if 2 people were to call an arrow out, 1 were to call it in, the shooter does actually have a call on their arrow when they're out on the range competing here. That's different from some of the other places we play.
That looks like a good shot on that stone sheep out there.
On the standing doll, I'm thinking very possibly Emily may have shot another inside out 11.
Pretty sure Kaylee has a 10 on the standing bear, according to my spotter.
Cara has shot a 10 on the stone. Looks like Sharon has probably 10'd the alligator.
Something that just watching across these 5 ladies shoot, as I mentioned, I have daughters at home, wife that shoots, and something I see with these women, and you see it in the men too, But you see a lot of different forms.
Yeah, oh yeah,
A lot
absolutely.
of different forms and styles, and I get those questions all the time, and I'm sure you do too, from people asking, "Hey, well, does my draw length look too long? Does it look too short? Does it, this or that? How's my form look?" And for the most part, within reason, what works is what's most comfortable and what can you repeat.
What can you repeat? That's
Exactly.
that's the biggest one. What can you repeat?
The wind's picking up a little bit here. And
It
looks like
is.
it's gonna.
That can change some things for sure.
There is a chance of some rain. We saw that on the radar
Yeah,
earlier.
we know it's definitely moving in. It's just how fast it gets here. And I know you get this a lot too. A lot of people ask about how certain ladies draw or what's going. What folks don't realize, a lot of these ladies have injuries. A lot of them have problems with an elbow or a previous injury or something that they're doing what they have to do to repeat, what they have to do to shoot and draw and aim and repeat. We've got Emily McCarthy up here on the bedded stone sheep. She shot 2 back-to-back 12s.
She let down.
She let down to
A
regroup.
little bit of wind. A little bit of wind making it difficult. I think Kaylee's probably a solid 10 on the doll.
Cara Kelly appears to be a 10 on that big 10.
Sharon may have a 12. That's what my spotter says.
We're going to have to call Emily's on the stone. We don't have a good enough angle on it. Cara has a 10. That puts her up to 410 after target 3. Coming up to Melissa Kilburn on the alligator. It's not always the most forgiving target to folks. It is deceiving no matter where it's at. It's tough to aim at. And again, even though it appears to be the closest target out here, it is taking some points for some people.
Yeah. Any target that's low to the ground like that is really deceiving on your ability to judge it. Seems like when it's up off the ground a little bit better, you have a better ability to judge the depth of the target.
Sharon Wallace for a 12.
She is a 12 on that one.
Good shot on that standing grizz. It appears to be, again, we don't know, but it appears to be the longest target out here.
It's talking about injuries and things like that. I coached a gentleman several years ago that played softball, and he had a shoulder injury, and we could never get his shoulder in what I would call line to shoot. But
that perfect stuff on paper that we strive for.
But he was such a good shooter, and you do what you have to do. There's no perfect way to do it as far as textbook form goes, but I will tell you that if you can repeat it over and over and over again, that's what works.
I know we get some occasional questions about umbrellas and how some of that works. In most of our Pro 3D games, we're allowed one golf size regulation umbrella. You're allowed to ask someone to hold it for you. If someone wants to volunteer to do that, they can. They're not allowed to help you or aid you in any way, but they can hold the umbrella for either shade for your eyes or your scope lens, your peep clarifier, or if the wind was to pick up here heavy, I think you could see potentially some of these ladies switching over and using that for as a wind block.
Yeah, absolutely. Out here in this bright sunlight, it would be really difficult with the lenses that are being used.
It would be extremely difficult to see
these
how
targets
these
in
targets are.
Kaylee's got such a good shot.
She shoots a strong shot. Kaylee's been at this game a long time.
Yeah.
They're going to have to call Kaylee's. It is at least a 10. Has a good chance at an 11. We've got our leader, Sharon Wallace, up on the standing doll.
Looks good. Naked eye.
It's a good-looking shot. I think it's going to hang 10. I think it's going to be probably just off of the 11.
Kind of hit those little black spots there that are on that target. Looks like it's been hit there a lot, right at the top of the 11.
I'm betting no. Kaylee's is a 10 on that stone.
So going into the fourth target here, Sharon is your leader. Emily McCarthy has jumped up into second place, and Kaylee is in third.
Sharon Wallace has a 10.
We'll see what happens here on this fourth target.
Melissa Kilburn has a 10.
Only 2 points separating Emily and Sharon for the lead right now.
It's going to come down to this last target.
Yeah.
Sharon's got the bedded stone. Emily has the alligator. The alligator is the closest target. She's got a great opportunity to try to go for that inside out. And
Emily McCarthy has a 10.
okay. Okay, this is potentially the final arrow. And I think the two targets to watch is going to be the alligator and then the bedded stone. The bedded stone is our darkest target out here. It's not the longest, but it is extremely dark. It's under a shaded tree.
I see Randall McBride is watching from back home. I know he's probably waiting on Chris Hacker to shoot. I got to throw this in there for my buddy, old Randall McBride. He's a heck of a bow fisherman, too. He will guide you on the river and shoot your hat if it falls off of your head.
I believe Emily drew on the alligator. She let up. Something didn't feel right, so she's going to regroup. She's redrawn. Emily shot a safe 10 on that alligator. She's what we'd call a tweener at about 2 o'clock. She's between the 11 and the 10 line.
Sharon is at full draw now. Boy, she holds still. So still. Good looking shot.
Sharon just fived her final target and has gave that one to Emily McCarthy, is what I would say at this point. She Kelly Johnson has
She
a 10.
must have just missed the yardage on that one because she made a great looking shot from this angle.
I'm going to bet that it's going to be that or just straight up a lighting issue. We will know soon.
Emily McCarthy may have just won this tournament.
Yeah, if Sharon's arrow doesn't catch 8 ring, it's over. And from our angle, it looks wide and high.
Cara shoots an 11 on her final target. If she did shoot a 5-jack, that puts Kaylee and Sharon tied, so they'll have to shoot off for second and third.
Melissa Kilburn got another 11.
It's a great shot.
And it is a 5. So it doesn't look like they're going to use bonus rings.
Okay, we have a tie.
So,
First place.
nope.
We have a tie for second.
So Emily McCarthy is your winner.
Yep. Emily McCarthy made a good comeback. She went from third to first. She shot a couple of 12s, which really helped her. And it came down to the final arrow. Emily shot a solid 10 on the alligator. Sharon needed a 10 to win and walked away with a 5. So now that puts Sharon and Kaylee Johnston at a dead tie, 438. So they will have to shoot one more arrow, a final arrow, and that'll be measured closest to center 11. Range officials are out now. They're going to pick the animal, and there'll be one more arrow.
Like we mentioned before, obviously we're getting some little bit of weather. It's supposed to move in here later this afternoon, so this wind is definitely picking up. They're going to have to shoot one more arrow here, and hopefully they'll play this wind right. And
We hope. Hopefully we have no wind, but but it's
it seems like it's coming in to stay.
Kaylee won the toss and chose to shoot first.
Okay, so they flipped a coin. Kaylee's going to shoot first. Now they do remove the arrows out here, so you don't ever have to worry about another arrow being in the target in the way, or to shoot off of, or to glance off of. She's getting a little bit of a calm spell. That's good. Kaylee's usually a quick shooter.
Both of these ladies have had a lot of success, as I mentioned before, shooting indoors, shooting the paper game basically. And Kaylee, I know she shot.
She saw some of the FIDA stuff,
Yeah.
I think, for a while.
Yeah, she did, and was very successful at it. Done that when she was younger, and I think that's where she developed her shot routine and shot method, and obviously has perfected it as she's aged in the sport. I think Brian's give her the green light to go, so she might be waiting on this wind here, trying to wait it out just a little bit.
That's probably a smart move at this point.
That's a pretty good gust that just come in here now. It's got a lot of. It's going to move that arrow.
Yeah, well, and it's going to move that archer. It's going to move her arm. And
Yes.
I don't know. I'd be tempted right now if I was working with an umbrella holder. I'd probably ask him to go ahead and probably go wind. I don't know what is happening to our feed. It could be the wind, and it could be the storms that are coming in, but I've pretty much lost what I had.
Well, Kaylee fired an arrow over there at the Big Ten. They're shooting at a different angle at the #1 target that they were using.
She's got
here.
an 11. You know, she's got an 11 at the 1-2 o'clock edge. That's a really, really good shot. They're in a completely different place from where they shot it before, and they're shooting it at a sharper angle, like Nathan said. So it's a different look. So they'll take a measurement on it and move on. a lot of this is just timing and luck of the draw. We'll see what the wind's like when Sharon steps up to shoot.
It was the wind was actually hitting us here at our back a few minutes ago, and I kind of feel like it swirled
coming
around.
on, yeah, it's coming off the
swirled
side of
around
us
just
now.
a little bit. So obviously, changing wind direction can either help or even assist or hurt the archer. Just depends on which direction it's coming from. So she's at full draw now.
She shot in nearly the exact same place, but more at 12 o'clock. She's got the perfect line on the 11. It is an 11. But again, it's always hard to tell till the guys go down and measure. It's extremely, extremely close.
Kaylee Johnston, second place.
Okay.
So Kaylee wins the shoot off for second place. That'll put Sharon in third place. Cara Kelly finished fourth, and Melissa Kilburn is fifth.
That was a pretty exciting shoot down round.
It was good. There was some changes
lot
there.
of switching, a lot of changing around. It's always a tough break when something happens bad on the very last arrow, but that is archery. That's the game that we play, and bows and arrows, that can happen.